What if the most valuable resource in your fantasy world wasn't gold, but something far more extraordinary and dangerous? After more than 2 decades of crafting intricate fantasy worlds and studying some of the greatest works in the genre, I've uncovered a secret that can transform your storytelling: the power of metals. In this video, I'll introduce you to 5 legendary metals from popular fiction, not for you to copy, but to inspire your own creations. You'll discover how master world builders have crafted substances that bend physics, enable space travel, and even manipulate time. More importantly, I'll show you how to apply these concepts to elevate your own fantasy writing. While I'll be using the term metal quite often throughout this video, it's worth noting that some of these examples stretch the definition a bit. The key here is to focus on their extraordinary properties and narrative potential rather than their strict classification. But let me start by introducing you to something so volatile it reshapes entire landscapes and economies. Welcome to the world of Tiberium, a substance that will show you how a single resource can drive an entire narrative. Tiberium, introduced in the Command & Conquer video game series, is a self-replicating, highly toxic, yet incredible valuable crystalline substance. It's not just a resource, it's a force of nature that reshapes the very world it inhabits. In the game's lore, Tiberium arrived via meteor impact and quickly began to spread across the earth. It leaches metals and minerals from the soil, concentrating them into valuable crystals. However, it's highly toxic to organic life, including humans, and it can trigger mutations in both plants and animals, which makes it quite dangerous overall. Now you might be thinking, that's all interesting, but how does this help my fantasy writing? Well, let me show you how. Imagine a kingdom where Tiberium-like crystals begin sprouting in the farmlands out of nowhere. This could be due to a magical event, divine interaction, or something entirely different. This single element can become the driving force of your entire story, creating economic upheaval, environmental disasters, and resource wars. Farming villages once poor are now sitting on a fortune, but at what cost? How do you contain a substance that literally eats the landscape? When one kingdom has all the magic crystals, what lengths will others go to claim their share? Let's see how this might play out in a story. Meet Doran, a young alchemist in the kingdom of Verdania. He's just discovered that by combining these new crystals with traditional herbs, he can create potions of unprecedented power. Doran sees an opportunity to elevate his status and help his struggling village. However, as he delves deeper into his research, he notices troubling signs. Crops near the crystal fields are withering, and some villagers are falling ill with strange symptoms, which forces Doran to consider the implications of his potential breakthrough. This scenario demonstrates how a Tiberium-like substance can create multi-layered conflict in your story. There's personal conflict as Doran's ambition clashes with his growing concern for his village's safety. Then we have societal conflict emerging between economic prosperity and environmental as well as health concerns. And lastly, there's political conflict between those who want to exploit the resource and those who want to contain it. When crafting your own Tiberium-like substance, consider these questions. What unique properties does your substance have? How does it interact with the environment and living beings? What valuable use does it have that makes people willing to risk its dangers? And how does its presence change the power dynamics in your world? By thinking through these aspects, you'll create a resource or metal that's not just a side note in your world building, but a driving force in your narrative. From here, let's leave Doran's medieval realm for a while and journey to the stars with our next legendary metal. Naquadah, the gateway to the stars. Imagine a substance so powerful it enables the creation of wormholes through space-time. A metal so rare entire civilizations rise and fall in its pursuit. Naquadah, the backbone of the Stargate franchise, is a rare, super dense mineral with extraordinary properties. It's a super heavy element with superconducting features and is key to interstellar travel technology in the Stargate universe. Naquadah is used to power everything from energy weapons to starships. Most importantly, it's the key component in Stargates themselves, devices that create wormholes for near instantaneous travel across galaxies. But here's where it gets interesting for us as fantasy writers. Naquadah isn't just a convenient solution to sci-fi problems, it's a gateway to endless storytelling possibilities. Here's how you can adapt this concept for your fantasy world. First, consider ancient civilizations. In Stargate, Naquadah technology was developed and used by several advanced races, including the Ancients and the Goa'uld. What if your world had remnants of a long-lost civilization's advanced magic based on a special metal? Second, think about it as a power source. Naquadah can generate and store immense energy. In a fantasy setting, your special metal could amplify magical power, leading to questions of who controls this resource and how it changes the balance of power among magic users. Third, explore cosmic connections. Stargates connect planets and even galaxies. Your metal could be the key to connecting different planes of existence or allowing communication with gods or spirits. Fourth, consider variations of your metal. In Stargate, different isotopes of Naquadah, such as weapons-grade Naquadah and Naquadria, have unique properties. This could add layers of complexity to your world's politics and conflicts. But from here, let's delve into a metal so valuable that people are willing to cross the stars and start wars to get it. Unobtainium featured prominently in James Cameron's Avatar as a room temperature superconductor for energy. It can float in the air due to its magnetic properties. In the film, it's so valuable that humans are willing to travel to a distant moon and engage in deadly conflicts with its native inhabitants, just to be able to mine it. The term unobtainium has a history in engineering as a tongue-in-cheek reference to any extremely rare, costly, or physically impossible material needed to fulfill a given design. Cameron took this concept and made it literal, creating a substance so valuable it drives the entire plot of his film. For us as fantasy writers, unobtainium represents more than just a valuable resource. It's a catalyst for conflict and a mirror for real-world issues. When a metal is invaluable, how far will people go to obtain it? What lines will they cross? In the Avatar movies, unobtainium puts a technological society in conflict with a nature-based culture, raising questions about how different cultures might view and value such a precious resource. The mining of unobtainium threatens Pandora's ecosystem, prompting us to consider how the extraction of such a metal might affect the natural or magical balance of our own fantasy worlds. When crafting your own unobtainium-inspired metal, consider these questions. What makes it so valuable? Is it versatile, powerful, or essential for survival? Who controls it and who wants to control it? What's the cost of obtaining or using it? This could be environmental, moral, or personal. And how does its existence affect relationships between different groups in your world? By addressing these points, you'll create a metal that's not just a MacGuffin, but a driving force for complex, nuanced conflicts in your story. Now, if you found anything useful in the video so far, please consider giving it a like to help me grow the channel. Thank you. Moving on, what if the very essence of matter could be molded like clay in a potter's hands? Welcome to the realm of Transformium, where the impossible becomes possible. Transformium, introduced in the Transformers franchise, is programmable matter that can take any form. Think of it as the ultimate shapeshifter, able to transform from a solid block into a complex machine in seconds. While the name might sound a bit silly, the concept behind Transformium opens up fascinating possibilities for storytelling. It represents the idea of matter that can be controlled at a fundamental level, blurring the lines between organic and inorganic, between object and being. For fantasy writers, a Transformium-like metal can be a goldmine of story potential. Imagine magical artifacts like weapons, armor, or tools that can change form at will. Consider living constructs where golems or other magical creations could reshape themselves. And beyond just changing appearance, what if characters could truly change their physical form? When developing your own Transformium-inspired metal, consider the following questions. What are the limits of its shapeshifting abilities? How is it controlled? By thought? By specific magical abilities? Or by technology? What are the ethical implications of creating sentient beings or changing one's own form? How might this substance be misused? And what safeguards might be needed for that? By exploring these questions, you can create a metal that's not just a cool magical element, but a source of deep philosophical and ethical exploration in your story. But as mind-bending as Transformium is, our final metal takes us even further. We're about to enter a realm where the very fabric of time bends to our will. What if you could see the future? Not just predict it, but actually see it unfold before your very own eyes. This is the power of Atium, a metal that challenges the very concept of fate itself. In Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn series, certain people called Mistborn can gain supernatural powers by ingesting and burning different metals. Atium is the rarest and most powerful of these metals. When burned, it allows the user to see a few seconds into the future, perceiving the actions others will take before they take them. For fantasy writers, an Atium-like metal offers incredible storytelling potential. It raises questions about prophecy and predestination. How does the ability to see the future change one's actions in the present? It also shifts the power dynamics when one group suddenly has access to future knowledge. Furthermore, it challenges our own understanding of the nature of time. Is the future fixed, or can it be changed? What are the consequences of altering destiny? When crafting your own Atium-inspired metal, consider these questions. What are the exact mechanics of its future-seeing ability? How far ahead can one see, and how accurate are the visions? What's the cost of using this power? Is it physical, mental, or spiritual? How does the existence of this power affect people's behavior and decision-making? And what safeguards or restrictions might be placed on its use? By delving into these questions, you can create a metal that's not just a plot device, but a means of exploring deep philosophical questions about time, free will, and the nature of reality itself. Remember, the goal isn't to copy any of these existing metals, but to let them inspire you to create something uniquely yours. Your legendary metal is out there, waiting to be discovered, ready to shape the destiny of your characters and your world. All you need to do is start digging. But in order to dig at the right spot, you first need to imagine the fundamentals of your fantasy world. And to avoid starting on the wrong foot, check out this video here and follow along through the entire world building fundamentals series.